hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we got ourselves a visit to the Acutabove Woodworking's QC department. Well, for those of you that have been around for a while, you'll know exactly what QC means. For those of you who are fairly new to the channel, I do not mean quality control. When you put yourself out there twice a week to potentially millions of people, it really invites the special people to come out of the woodwork. And guys, I get some real special comments down below on videos. You don't see most of them because a lot of them get eliminated before they ever show up on the program. Some of them I leave down in that section and respond to just to kind of say, hey, you know what, your comments aren't wanted here, etc., etc. Either way, today's show is all about the questionable comments. And we're going to go through some of them today just so you guys have some kind of an idea of, well, of how the other half live. Why the F are you measuring noise? This is the most useless test for this device. It is obvious that everyone is wearing hearing protection. What? Stop taking drugs. Well, now, this one here kind of came, I had to translate it because it wasn't in English, but it was on my chess set tutorial, and what it said was, a chess set created without scrupulously respecting the recognizability of the pieces is a waste of time and an exercise in useless patience. Now, I thought that was kind of harsh. So, anyway, I replied to the guy and I said, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Not every show can please everybody, but thanks for chiming in with your opinion and, you know, thanks for tuning in. I hope you took something positive away from the show. And this is what he came back with. This is where it made this show here. Acutabove Working, it is not an opinion. Okay, well, you know what? You're stating your opinion. Yeah, it's an opinion. It is not an opinion. I could create a plug or phallus bishop and say it is a chess set of your invention just because I understand it's a pornographically ridiculous chess set. I'm going to refer you to the guy who said, stop taking drugs. Well, this viewer didn't mix any words. You. Might want to check on your spelling. Nothing like making a piece of junk. A damn waste of nice old lamps. They should have been restored to run on oil, and yes, rusty fonts can be fixed. What a waste. And you have no idea if they are common or rare models. Yeah, you're probably right. But what I've got is a really cool electric oil lamp that actually gets used now. Another one through translation. It sounds horrible. How do I sound now? Is this better? Okay, this one was in Russian, and I had to have it translated. So it translates to less blah blah. Now, I know I talk a lot on my show, so yeah, maybe there's blah blah. I don't know. That's not what blows my mind. What blows my mind is that there's a Russian word for blah. So a little background on this one. During the show, I placed my tilt box on my table. I zeroed it out to get it set with my table, and then I clamped it on my blade to check the blade to see if it was at 90 degrees. And I guess this guy didn't understand what I did. Because he said, dude, I'm a dude, dude, you didn't show that your blade was square with the table. You showed that it was squared with the earth, or whatever you squared it to originally. You are one of the reasons YouTube is hard to trust. You bring up issues that are nonsense. Your explanation about the switch is just juvenile. Your minor things are so trivial as to not make a total bit of difference. There is nothing wrong with the scale if you know how to adjust the fence. This is a great saw, and your review is junk. Juvenile. This is a terrible way to do this. Look up Wes Hamstra. He knows what he's doing. Well, hoity-toity for Wes Hamstra. Who the heck is Wes Hamstra? This video can be shorter if you talk less. Oh, duh. My scroll saw takes lugged blades, like a coping saw blade. This idea is as dumb as a bag of rocks. To get the blade into the project, I've got to drill a waking great hole to fit the lugs through, thus removing any real need for the scroll saw. So mine is thrown in the corner of the shed in disgrace with the rest of the rubbish. Nice, but try talk less. I absolutely love this one. The guy says, seeing a man wearing earrings is very disturbing. So I replied with something like, you know what, the show's about woodworking, don't worry about the earrings, they don't bother me or most of the people that I know, they shouldn't bother you, concentrate on the woodworking. And he comes back with this, an argument without any substance. Typical of weak-minded people, weak, W-E-E-K, weak-minded people that feel they need to grotesquely pierce their flesh and dangle metal objects from it like some primate for some god-forsaken reason. On next week's show,
animal sacrifices. Really? Get over it, man.
Edit this down to 2 minutes. Too much fluff. I happen to like fluff. It's good with peanut butter. About every 6 months, at least every 6 months, I get a comment like this. It would be nice if you use language that includes those of us who are woodworkers and are not guys. There are plenty. Thanks, Tips. I'm very aware of that. But I responded to this woman and said that, you know, when I say guys on the show, I mean it in the way like the Webster Dictionary, where it means addressing a group of people, regardless of gender. It's like, hey guys, it's welcoming. It's, you know. So I said to her, but if that offends you, there are plenty other channels on YouTube. Feel free to move on. You don't have to stick around here. So she comes back with this. Folks might appreciate that if you don't have a wheel or don't want to destroy a drawer slide, just use a 1-inch hole saw to cut the wheel, with the center hole already made from a thin piece of plywood. I thought, okay, you know, she's sensible at least. She's giving an answer to you know, some input to the show. And then she does this. With that, I will take the invitation to join more enlightened channels. All the best. So because I say guys, this channel is not enlightened. Bye-bye. Lee calls them fingers, not keys. Get it right. Oops. So I did a video on a very basic way to install crown molding. And I have a very old wartime home. The walls are actually plaster. My crown molding that is existing in the house is actually plaster work. There isn't a square corner in my house. So this guy comments on the crown molding video and says, cope and glue, lame video. So I thanked him for tuning in and said, you know, I hope you were able to take something positive out of it. How about not leaving rude comments on people's shows? This is his response. Not rude. Truth hurts. There are better ways to tighten corners of a mitered cut instead of hiding with caulk. Try coping, or is it beyond your scope? And take the time not to leave me a rude comment. Right. Remember whose show you're on. It's mine. So it gets better. It gets better. I can't remember what I said. Something like, buddy, I've got 43 years of woodworking experience. You know what? It is what it is. The tutorial was just for a beginner. I don't understand why, if you're so darn good, why you're checking out this beginner video in the first place. And his comeback is, that being said, your miters have gaps. 43 years of woodworking and you still haven't mastered a tight miter. I think your issue is with the wartime plaster dudes. Those are the guys that have the miters that are incorrect. Mine were bang on the money. Unfortunately, they didn't match up with the walls, which are not. Either way, God, it takes all kinds. This one through translation. Ridiculous his cap. It discredits his show. It's Canada. It's winter. I was wearing a toque. So many things you could have picked apart in the show. And you pick on my hat. Shame on you. I love this one. I love this one. Sir, with all due respect to you, let me make a few remarks. 1, it would be nice to leave the previous videos under the video for the convenience of those viewers who found your video through search or advertising. Okay? 2, it would be very nice to put at the beginning of the first video footage, 10 to 15 seconds, or the finished device so that the viewer understands what will be made at the end. Okay? 3, your design is very complex and requires a lot of labor to make. See how easy it is? And then he posts a link to somebody else's show. With all due respect to you, I don't think you know the meaning of the word respect, because coming on somebody's show that he puts all the work into and all the labor and all the time, and posting a link to somebody else's program to show how they do it better, that is actually the opposite of respect. It's nothing but disrespect. So maybe you need to figure that out before you start leaving comments and suggestions on people's shows. All right, and this one through another translation. Another thumper. Instead of doing it, he's talking. What? Hunting to show off on the screen? I don't even know what that means. Another translation. Almost 19 minutes of the story, and you never put the bandsec into operation. I'm assuming the bandsec is the bandsaw. 19 minutes of the story. What are you, new here? I talk. It's what I do. 19 minutes. I thought that was pretty good for me. And there you have it. The QC Department, Episode 4. Guys, I get enough of these comments, enough rude comments on the show, that I could do this every Tuesday. I really could. And it blows my mind why it is that people put so much energy and take so much time to go online and be the brave man or brave woman or brave whoever behind the keyboard and type out rude messages. You can bet they wouldn't say it to my face. They do it online because online they're tough. Now, it doesn't make any sense. And if they took as much of that energy that they spend knocking other people down and being rude to them, if they took that energy and put it into something positive and, maybe trying to help people or trying to add some positive interaction to the comment sections, the world would be a lot better place. And I don't just mean my channel, I mean in general. But for some reason, I don't get it, but people like to go on there and just leave these comments. And I guess that's their prerogative. They're entitled to do that. But truth be told, it doesn't bother me. It gives us something to laugh at here on Tuesday's show. And more importantly, it gives us a show idea. So we get a good laugh out of it. We get, 15, 20 minutes to hang out. And all because they decided that they were going to be the rude one. Well, I think we got the last laugh. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. You click the bell and then you're not going to miss the notifications of future episodes of the program. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the content today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you're going to leave a positive comment down below, but if not, who knows? You might be on a future QC episode. And more importantly, guys, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesday.